Hello and welcome back to the final lesson, or the final lesson in our version control using Git chapter. And what we're going to do in this, we're going to talk about two different ways that we can revert some of our changes. And I shouldn't even say that because that can be confusing. The way that we can roll back to previous versions. And so let me go ahead and jump in and show you the two different ways that we can do this. And there's probably other ways as well, but I'm just going to show you a couple here. You do have to be careful doing this, by the way. All right, so let's say that we were tasked with updating the background color of our site to something else. So let's go ahead and just jump into our styles here, and this is set to black. And let's just say that they didn't want it to be black. They wanted this to be a dark gray. So we'll change that to 333. And we'll hit save. If we go and, let me see here, go ahead and go here and we'll refresh. You can see that now this is a light gray. And let's go ahead and go to our terminal and do git status here. And you can see that it's been modified. So I'm going to clear that out, and then I'm going to do a git add, git commit, -m. And then we're going to say updated background color. And then we'll do a push. Okay, so now we have a new commit that's been added and pushed to the remote server. And so now our background color is a dark gray instead of black. Let's say now we do something else, like we want to change, let's say we want to change some of this text. So we'll say, we'll change this from get rules dude to get rules dudette or something, you know? And so we'll go to the HTML here. That's a bad example, but whatever. We'll just change that to dudette. And then we're going to go ahead and commit that. So we'll do git add. Then we're going to do a git commit to commit that change, and we're going to say updated copy, and then we're going to do a git push. Now let me clear this out because I want to show you something here. We're going to go ahead and type git log, and now you can see my most recent logs down to my older logs here. And what I'd like to be able to do is I'd like to, let's see, updated background color. Let's say after I've already pushed this updated copy, they change their mind about all the code that I made on this commit. And they say, hey, we don't want any of that to be there. But I've already done more work since then. So I just want to remove this one commit and all the changes I made there, but I don't want to remove my newest commit here. Well, what we can do there is we can use, I'm going to hit Q to get out of that log there, and I'm going to copy that commit hash. Actually, I want to remove this one, so I'm going to copy the commit hash that I want to remove, and then we're going to go down here and we're going to type git revert, and then we are going to paste that hash there, and we'll hit enter. And this adds a commit message here, so it pops up Vim for me. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit Shift. I'm going to hold down Shift and hit ZZ to save and close Vim. And now if I do a git log, you can see that, let's see, where am I at here? Yeah, it shows the revert right here. It reverts that commit, so it shows up in the history. But now if I go back and we look at our code, we still have this dudette, get rules dudette. But if we look at the styles here, the background color is now black again. So that is removing just one commit. We use the revert command. Using revert, it's important to know that using revert takes you back. It doesn't take you back to that change. It removes that, just that commit, and leaves everything that was done in front of that and behind it. So it just like basically you pick a commit in the middle, or I mean it could be on the end, but it's basically going to remove whatever was committed at that time. It removes it or reverts that back. Now let's say I want to go back. Let me just hit Q to get out of that. And let's do some more changes here. Let's make our background color white. All right, so if I go back to my site now and refresh, it's going to look horrible and I can barely read this text. But let's say I didn't notice and I went ahead and I added this and I committed it and I said something like changed background color to white. And this is one of the reasons that it's important for us to give good commit messages, because now if I notice that, I'm like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. That was a horrible idea and I've already committed the changes. Then what I need to be able to do now is do a reset. So what I can do is I can say git status. Okay, I don't have anything to do here. So I can do git log, and I can see that right here with this commit message, it says changed background to white. So I know that this commit right here is the one that I did that on. So I could just look through these until I find that one, and I could just copy that one. Oops. I could copy that commit hash, and then I'm going to hit Q to get out of here. And then what I'm going to do here is I am going to do, instead of doing a revert, let's say I just want to act like that never happened. I don't want to see history of it. I just want to go back to whatever was there before that. And by the way, anything that happened after that. So this is reset, takes you back to a specific commit. So actually, let me look again. So git log. Let's say I don't want to copy this one. I want to go back to this commit. So everything that happened after this, I want to get rid of. So like I can just copy that one, and we'll do copy, and then I'll hit Q to get out of there. And then what I'm going to do, let me just clear this. Now what I can do is I can type git reset, and I'm going to put a flag of -- hard, which will get rid of the history. It's not even going to show up that this newest commit even happened. So -- hard, and then we will paste that hash there. Now it says that the head is now back to this commit. Now it gives us a shortened version of that hash, but it also tells us what that commit message was. So let's go ahead now, and if we look back on our code, git status. Did this get the right? Let me check this real quick. I guess I grabbed the wrong commit hash somehow. So let me copy that. Let me try this again. Yeah, I had the wrong one somehow. There we go. That's the right hash. You gotta make sure you pick the right hash. So now it says, it takes me back to the updated copy. So now if I go and look here, there we are. We're back to here. So that takes us back to that commit. And you can see where it says updated copy right there. That also, though, got rid of everything that happened after that, which also included the history of getting rid of this dark background right there. So we may have to fix that up. But that's how we can reset to a previous commit. Reset takes you back to there and clears all the things ahead of that as well. And the revert just takes away whatever happened, whatever code was changed, whatever changes happened on that one commit. So I know that's kind of confusing. It's really hard to explain, and I've messed this up a couple of times myself. So just make sure you look up the difference between revert and reset, and make sure you're confident on what you're doing before you do it, because you can make a mess doing this, but this is how you can revert back to previous commits. Now I'm going to show you one more thing here that's really important. If I do a git status right now, it's going to tell me that I'm behind by 2 commits from the local. And if I try to push my changes, it's not going to let me. It's going to tell me that I need to pull those changes first. And that's because we got rid of history that is on our remote and is not on our local machine. So it thinks we're behind. So what we need to do to fix the remote, and this is kind of scary as well, but we're going to have to do git push -- force, which will force us to push what we have on our computer to the remote branch, or to the remote server. So now if I do a git status, you can see that there's nothing different between my remote and my local repo now. So I hope that makes sense. Guys, the best that I can say on this is be very, very careful and know what you're doing before you do it. I just want to show you that it's possible. More so than I wanted to show you how to do it, I want you to just be aware that it exists and that you can go and do this sort of thing if need be. But make sure you research it and read the documentation and understand it very, very well before you start going and messing around with the history of your repo. Alright guys, so I hope you've enjoyed this chapter. If you have, please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you've learned, what you wish you would have learned, if you're confused or whatever. And again, let me just reiterate that I don't want you to be discouraged if you don't know what's going on right now. If you've watched this entire chapter and you're like, what is going on right now, and you're thinking about giving up, don't do it. Listen, I just want to, all I'm doing right now is planting seeds in your head, okay? I don't expect you to understand it fully yet because we haven't gone through the ropes and we haven't actually used it. We're going to use this from now on throughout the rest of the entire series, and so it's going to become more and more familiar, and eventually I promise it's going to click, okay? So right now we're just planting seeds. I'm showing you some commands. I'm showing you how the flow kind of works. If you have a little bit of experience, you may understand it, but if you're new, you know, I even hesitated to put this chapter in, but I thought it is important to understand when you're getting a job to understand Git. And so we're gonna not only learn, we're just getting kind of a crash course here in this chapter, but for the rest of the web dev tutorial series, for all the rest of the chapters we do from here going forward, we're going to be using Git to commit our code to the our GitHub pages. For one, because then we're going to have code that we can show potential employers our example projects that we've built here on the channel, but also we're going to have that stored and we can look at it. All right, so I hope that helps, guys. Please don't be discouraged if you don't know what's going on. You can let me know. Look, I'm not a great teacher, and this is something that's very, very difficult for me to teach. So give me a little grace, but just understand that we're just planting seeds, and you are going to understand it by the time we're done. Okay? So have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you in the next chapter. We are going to dive into some object-oriented programming in the next chapter, and so I will see you guys there.